Journal Record Capitol correspondent Catherine Sweeney joins us to discuss more stories making news in business this week. Catherine, thank you for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
Well, crude oil prices are way up, but apparently that's not making Oklahoma oil companies happy.
There are a lot of factors here. It's a tough industry, so they have to have this push to invest in more technology, so their margins are shrinking. Wells that used to cost a few $100,000 to drill now cost millions of dollars. All the while, their investors want more of that margin.
Meanwhile, in Osage County, I understand there's a move to speed up the permitting process to drill for oil and gas. Why is that?
So it's related to the last question. It's harder for oil and gas companies to drill, so they're doing it less. That's affecting the Osage Nation, and so they're wanting to make it a little easier to get production up in their area.
Well, there's another large hole looming in the state budget, and that involves funding for medical school residency programs. What's the latest, and how do they plan to fix it?
Well, we're good for a couple of years. So what happened is the federal agency, CMS, that handles Medicaid, they had this dispute with the state. The state had a waiver where they could spend Medicaid money on our medical schools for their residencies. That had been fine under the Clinton administration, under the Bush administration, the Obama administration, but recently there was a dispute over the waiver, and so they've been trying to get that waiver reauthorized, and they didn't. CMS is not going to let them spend that money on medical schools. The state has already covered fiscal years 18 and 19 for those operating expenses, but that means that after that, we're probably going to have to find another $60 million a year.
The legislature does have its work cut out for them this year, whether they want to get out in May or not.
That's safe to say.
I understand the Port of Catoosa continues to grow. Do they have some new tenants?
They do. They have a metal manufacturing processing area. They also have a new manufacturer that builds semi-trucks. The thing is that they invested $12 million in the docks, and it looks like that's paying off.
And finally, what are you working on for next week?
It looks like wind is going to be the big issue at the Capitol next week. They're looking at new taxes on the industry, how they would be assessed. We're not sure yet. It could be on the amount that the farms are able to make, or it could be on the amount that they are currently making.
All right. Catherine Sweeney with the Journal Record, thank you for being with us.
Thanks again for having me.